True fans live for their team. For those true U of A fans, there is Hughes Federal Credit Union. Show your U of A spirit and put technology and convenience at your fingertips. Hughes Federal Credit Union. Smart choice.
Welcome to Greg Hansen's Video Notebook, brought to you by Hughes Federal Credit Union. I'm Star Sports Editor Ryan Finley here. Greg Hansen for, I think it is season 3. We're almost into syndication, which is good. If we can get to 100 episodes, we'll cash that check the rest of our lives.
Could be year 33.
It feels like it sometimes, doesn't it? Well, let's talk football. The Arizona Wildcats are 1-1. They're hosting Hawaii at Arizona Stadium on Saturday. This is a game that 15, 20 years ago I think would have been a real battle of equals. Even as Arizona is kind of middling at this point early in the season, Hawaii is bad. Am I wrong?
They're 8-43 in the last, since Rich Rod started at Arizona.
8?
Only Kansas is worse off FBS schools.
8 wins?
Yeah. And the teams they've beat are, it's like Compton Junior College.
Well, they had to hustle last week to beat Tennessee Martin at home, which is not good.
It's sad if you've watched Hawaii since the 80s when Dick Tomey had them. They were a tough out.
Always.
They were the best, not the best defensive team in the nation, but they would hit you as hard as anybody in the nation. Mm-hmm. And in the 80s and 90s and until June Jones left about 7 years ago, they were so fun and entertaining to watch.
I know. Colt Brennan, I know he received Heisman votes. You know how
I
know that?
You know how I know that?
Because I voted for him. Colt Brennan was a guy who was as dynamic an offensive player as there was in America. Before him, Timmy Chang, you want to talk about Pac-12 after dark?
Yeah.
Honolulu after dark, he'd be throwing 600, 550, 600 yards when nobody threw like that.
That was such a fun option if you got home at midnight on a Saturday night in college football season to watch Hawaii play.
Oh, I know. I spent the last couple years of college, I think, watching Hawaii in the corner of a bar somewhere with my friends because they were always the last game on TV and so much fun to watch. To me, this shows the importance of hiring the right coach. They hired 2, I think, back-to-back.
Oh, boy.
Greg McMackin, who was the defensive coordinator under June Jones, was just kind of a guy. Then Norm Chow, you could make the argument that's one of the worst hires in recent college football history.
And right away you could find out why Norm Chow had never been a head coach, even though he had this terrific reputation as an offensive whiz, because he wasn't a head coach. Right. And he didn't destroy Hawaii. In combination with 2 or 3 athletic directors, he did.
Right. And they went from being fun to watch, if nothing else, to being not even that.
And now every Pac-12 team poaches the top prospects in Hawaii. Right. It's going to be so hard for them to get back to relevancy.
Sure. Nick Rolovich, they went young. They went a guy who's a hotshot recruiter. Yeah, local guy, former assistant. I think that if anybody can get it done, it's somebody with Nick Rolovich's kind of background. But it's going to be tough sledding here for the first couple of years, I think.
It is so hard for them now. Oregon State and Washington State combined have 13 starters from Hawaii, Hawaii/Samoa. Right. And they've got to stop that.
Yeah, you've got to be able to keep. It maybe you'll never be able to keep the best ones. Michael Elatise played at Hawaii, was the state of Hawaii's best high school player a year ago. He's now at Arizona. Maybe you're never going to get the best ones, but you got to get a good number of guys.
Yeah, Arizona's best team ever in 1998, they had 7 Hawaiians/Samoans played prominent roles. But then Hawaii was still able to beat that until June Jones went to SMU because Herman Fraser didn't offer him a new contract. Right. Enough of a money for a new contract. Right.
It's funny, we deal, Greg, in kind of quasi-big-time college athletics where if you have a bad coach, you can fire him and spend some money and bring in a better coach. Hawaii, that margin for error is about that thin.
They averaged 21,000 fans last year. Their deficit has to be staggering.
Yeah. And yet it is what they're best known for, probably. Volleyball?
What else?
Well, women's volleyball, football.
But nothing like it was in the 80s and 90s.
Nothing at all. That'll do it for this episode of Greg Hansen's Video Notebook, brought to you by Hughes Federal Credit Union. For Greg Hansen, who I'm guessing is predicting an Arizona Wildcats win.
59-10.
59-10.
That's what I picked last week.
I like that. Okay, so we'll do it again?
Yeah.
All right, we'll ride it until it hits. I'm Ryan Finley. We'll see you next time.